Hi, and welcome to my channel. Lately, I've been kind of MIA. I do apologize for that, and I thank you guys so much for your patience while I put out new videos. And so I've been into making greeting cards lately, and with Valentine's Day just around the corner, I thought it would be fun to do a video on making tearaway tab Valentine cards. These are really fun, easy to make. They're little. You can mass produce these with your machine for like kids' classes or whatever you want. Um, you do need a maker with the perforation blade, but if you don't have one of those, you can actually just make regular cut flap, and it's just a lift away flap. It's just as cute as the tearaway one and just as fun for the recipient to receive. So let's get started, and I'll see you at the end. All right, we're going to be making a tearaway tab Valentine today. So I'm going to go over here into shapes, and I'm going to leave that tab open for a while. I'll be inserting a square. I'm going to change the color and make this into a rectangle. So up at the top, I'm going to change proportions by unlocking the padlock and making it 2.5 inches wide and 3.25 inches tall. I think that's going to be a nice size for a Valentine. So I'm going to move it over to the side, and we're going to start making the tab. I'm going to insert a score line. This will be at the top of the tab. And I'm going to change the size to 2 inches, rotate 90 degrees, and we'll change the position to X is 1 and Y is 1. This is going to help us line up our lines for the tab. So we're going to insert another line and change the operation to perforate. If you don't have a perforating blade, you can use the cut operation. It'll just end up being a lift away tab instead of a tear away tab. So the position is going to be X is 1 and Y is 1. I'm going to duplicate that in the upper right and move the position to X is 3 and Y is 1. Now we're going to make the cut across the bottom with a little semicircle there for the tab. I'm going to insert another line, change the operation to basic cut, and then change the size to 0.75 inches. I'll rotate it 90 degrees and put the position at X is 1 and Y is 3.5. Now I'm going to duplicate it and put the second line at X is 2.25 and Y is 3.5. And you can see how that's starting to line up really nicely. So I'm going to go over here into images and search up semicircle. I'm going to resize it. Well, I'm searching it up. I'm going to resize this. It's a single line right there. That's what we kind of want to look for. And now I'm resizing to 0.5 inches tall. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And I'm going to relocate it to X is 1.75 and Y is 3.5. And at this time, I realized that something was weird with the semicircle, so I had to change the sizing. So I went back up into the top and I reproportioned it or unlocked the thing and did 0.5 by 0.25. I didn't realize that it was like a different semicircle than I was used to. So because the filter for draw was on. So make sure that your filter is clear and that your semicircle operation is cut. All right, so now I'm grouping all the tab lines together and I'm going to connect it with the base. So I'm aligning, selecting both, aligning to center, and it looks really good. So now I'm going to duplicate it while everything is still selected. I'm just going to go over to the right and duplicate. And this duplication we're going to use for the top tab. So I'm going to have, while everything is selected, go down and click attach. And that's just going to make sure everything cuts out where we want it to. So over here, everything is just kind of grouped together. So I'm going to make a little guide so that we know where we can put our text. So in the layers tab, I'm opening up the group and I'm blinding out that semicircle so I can see how big that rectangle really is, because I forgot. It's 2 inches by 2.5 inches. So in the Shapes tab, I'm going to insert that square. I'm going to unlock proportions and change the proportions to 2 by 2.5. And then I'm going to line it up over the tab. It turned out perfectly just by eyeballing, but if you're not comfortable with that, you can line it up with the tab by like unhiding the semicircle again and then selecting all of those 3 items and aligning everything to center, and it'll be fine. So at this point in time, I'm going to select that group of lines and we're going to delete it. We don't need that anymore. So I'm going to select both the square and the new, I'm going to duplicate that because we need to put our text on there. So now I'm selecting the rectangle we added in and the other rectangle base for the guide. I'm going down to the bottom where it says combine, exclude. So this is going to be our guide to make sure that whatever we put is going to fit. So this square, I had like issues moving the square to the bottom. So I'm just going to undo a bunch of things and until I get back to the exclude. So I'm going to move this panel to the bottom. So I selected it. I'm going to arrange, send to back. And now we can line that up and make sure that whatever we put in there is going to fit under the tab nicely. Okay. So now I'm going to go into images and I'm just going to look up, something Valentine's-y. I kind of liked these little gnomes. I made sure that the operation is pen, so it's going to draw out. And I'm just going to resize it to make sure that it fits inside of that rectangle. So I'm just placing them there. And now I'm going to write in some text. I'm going to write in like, be my Valentine. And I'm going to change the operation to draw with pen. And I don't really like how the words are hollow. So I'm going to go into the font. I'm going to select writing from that little filter right there. And this is going to show me all the fonts that can do writing. So I'm going to go down to DJ Flirt. I like this one because it has little hearts on it. And I think it's really cute. So now I'm just resizing and I'm going to use the side parts of the box to just kind of change the orientation of the words a little bit. Moving that in. It's really just too big. So I'm just going to resize it, make sure that it's fitting in there. Then I'm going to select everything and center horizontally. And now I'm going to move my little guide out of the way. I'm going to select that whole background part and click attach. And that's going to make sure that everything writes where we want it to write. And it looks like we're pretty much ready to make. I did want to change the color of that top piece. So I'm just selecting the square in the group and just changing the color so I can cut it out of something else. And then you can go over to your make menu. On the make menu, just be sure that everything looks right. Everything looks like it's going to cut properly. And that's it. So here I've cut everything out. I did cut out the top flap from some pattern cardstock. And I didn't really like how it was all stars. So I just cut another exclude piece out of like coordinating cardstock. But it's the same thing as that frame that we created with the exclude button. That's the same piece. I just went back and cut another one out of that color cardstock. All right, so the assembly is super easy. You're just going to put the glue around that little piece, flip over the image, line it up so it looks nice. And then here, I'm just putting glue along the top side of the frame. While the glue is wet, I'm going to stick that tab out in the front and glue it down. And then I'm going to glue just around the edges where you can see the perforation is and combine it. You can see how the back side is a little bit gross looking. So you can use one of the leftover pieces to cover that up, and it makes it look a little bit better. And that's it. So once you know the technique to make the tearaway tabs, it's so easy to just modify your own cards. You could do one with a lot of tabs. You could even make like an advent calendar of some kind. The possibilities are really endless. So if you've learned something new or you just enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. If you are interested in seeing more videos of this type or more card type videos, or if you want to see something a little bit more craft related on a different end, please leave me a comment below so that I can see what you want to look at. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck making your own tearaway tab cards.